Hey guys, Jules for 9211 coming at you with what I had promised, the test hands for the budget deck Dark Magician at 140. I went back and reviewed my own video and I was calculating it, and the actual price, if you get all of them common and low budget, you can actually get it to about $130, 135. You can squeeze under $140 for this deck. The deck actually performs at a meta destroyer level, believe it or not, meaning that basically no matter, as long as it's meta, which is like what, like 90% of decks, you should be able to destroy them. It all depends on what type of fusion deck you have. I'm lucky enough to have access to the top tier Dark Magician version. The when I bought that deck, it was only about $80 to $100 for it all. The current price of it right now, unfortunately, sorry to tell you, it is around probably like $450 to $500 fusion deck. You're welcome to side deck your own fusion deck however you want it. I'm just being honest. So here's the deck. I'm gonna be power shuffling it. We're just gonna be shuffling it, and and then we're gonna be cutting it, obviously. And I had already powered shuffled the deck. I don't want to turn it around and show you the cards because then you're gonna be saying I'm cheating. So, oops. So we're gonna cut the deck. Then we're gonna go ahead and pull out from it the 5. And there you go. So from the first hand, obviously the deck is not the turbo edition. You can if you want. This is just a starting point. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you can go several routes with this hand. If you know the combo that I always do, I always love to use Soul to send the Dark Magician to the graveyard. And then we could stack a rod with this and discard this to use the effect to draw into rod normally. And then from there you could get the circle, and then you can link into it. This or with this you could discard any card to get a Dark Magician, and with the other one discard a Dark Magician to the graveyard. Why am I saying this? Because you have ways to send the Dark Magician to the graveyard and Dark Magician Girl to activate the Soul at drawing 2 cards, or you can go into the Red Eyes fusion, or you can summon the Dark Magicians. So what I'm basically telling you is super versatile. Even with the Ash, they won't be able to stop you. They can't because the Ash is not sufficient for the versatility of this hand. There's too many things going on. So obviously in the first hand, depending on what you have in your hand, if I had more traps and spells, I would definitely play the Red Eyes Fusion from the beginning. But if it gets Ashed, you're gonna be in problems. So that's why I would start by going into like a floodgate version, meaning combos of discarding, special, activating, linking, that way around. And you could always end then bringing 3 spellcasters and bringing back Dragoon. I'm sorry, Dark Magician, and chaining them to Inmuk. And then from that, you could just straight up go into Verte and activate Magicalized Fusion. I do it all the time on my duels. So I've shown you, this is supposed to be a $130 to $135 deck, but it is performing. Honestly, you judge for yourself, but in my opinion, the deck is it is performing at a level like at a $800 $900 deck. If you doubt it, see, test it yourself. I gave you the profile, see it yourself. I believe it all has to do with the execution. If you don't know how to execute correctly, then you'll never win a game, even against Rogue. If you understand proper execution, versatility, combos, routes, then absolutely you will be destroying. Rogues won't stand a chance, meta won't stand a chance, and you'll be going against top tier decks and putting up a good battle and winning, basically winning your locals with ease. This deck, I'm not too sure if this deck could win the majority of the mirror decks. Like I always said, my actual top tier Dark Magician, it's somewhere around 20 to 26, 27 or more. Because I don't keep a record, you duel all these decks. It could be more than 30 duels, meaning if it's 30, it could be 60 matches because you do 2 matches per duel, best out of 3. It's 100% rate. I'm serious. It's never lost. I've never even lost against the new Dark Magician support. This is not top tier. This is just a budget version that I created. But in my opinion, it's strong enough, versatile enough to operate like a $900 Dark Magician deck. So you can get the Asian versions, like I had told you before, 3 of them to substitute for some of the Jesters and whatnot, other cards, the second Dark Magician that I told you to put in. Only because everything I say and everything I do is oriented towards budget. I need to clarify that. If you want to go the full top tier version, you're going to have to opt out for the English, and I'm not willing to put my top tier recipe. Why? Because I feel like, you might hate me for this, but I feel like I worked so hard and it took me a long time to consistently get third place, second place, and first place. I feel like, why should I just give away my recipe that I worked so hard for? Now everybody else likes to get to hand it out, and that's fine. Me forever. Maybe I need to humble myself. I'm not sure what's going on, but I feel like I don't want to, especially now that I figured out that my top tier is able to walk and destroy the new support Dark Magician. These actual decks are from format 2020. They're not even 2021. It's an old format, and it's able to walk all over the new support, which is next year, 2022. The decks actually, they're able to draw more than a lot of the drawing decks, and then they're also able to even draw and chain more than the new support Dark Magician without any support from the new Dark Magician archetype. So you see it, you saw it for yourself, you see the hand. Like I said, I would advise you to chain this hand. Don't try to go into the Dragoon because you could mess it up. You can go into the Dragoon later in this same turn. So there you go. That's one hand. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle it back into it. And here it is. Then we're going to be doing some more power shuffling. And I was going to do piles and go ahead and go from there. But I was like, it takes time. I'm just going to power shuffle it this way. Then after that, we're just going to go ahead okay, and then we're gonna cut it, and this time we're gonna actually pull 6. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you know anything from what I had told you last time, this card represents the secret of dark magic. Some people get upset because they're like, well, why don't you have the card? I have the card. I have about 6 or 7 copies, like I said. The problem is, why should I pull it out of a copy that I'm selling online and I have to ship it? And like I always say, if you doubt it, here it is. If you wanna, if you feel bad because I don't put it there, it is. for the people who want it. I just don't feel right shipping a fixed deck in that it's missing a card. Everything I sell is already set. So if somebody buys, let's say they buy three copies of this, I already have them on a table set. They're the ones that are already prepared. So I just package them and ship them, and I get the money out of it. But like this deck, this is the one that I started from scratch. So there was one card I wasn't able to get in that full week of attempting to build it. It took me a week. I believe the first day I got the majority of it, like 80%, and then so on and so forth every other day. And the last day, the only one that I had missing was the Secrets of Dark Magic for this specific one. So I didn't want to pull another card out from another one because it mathematically it doesn't make sense, the equation, because you're selling a deck and you're taking it away from it. I don't want to do that. So this is Secrets of Dark Magic. So what you have here, let's say you have a Dragoon, right? They have a Dragoon. What is this here? Super Poly, he's gone. Right? He's gone. He's gone. And then this one, you have the secrets. You have the secrets. And you're gonna enter into a dragon. Guess what? You got Dragoon now. Why? Well, you got a Dark Magician and a dragon and Secrets of Dark Magic. What more do you want? You can enter. You can enter into, because you already got rid of the Dragoon and whatever else monster they have. You can also enter into the Dark Magicians, and then with this card, you can bring him back. Right? You can bring him back. Let's say you do the Super Poly, and then they do the Super Poly and they get rid of it. Well, you can enter Dragoon from this going into this and then bringing this back. Or you can enter the Dark Magicians and then go into this and bring this, and automatically the Dark Magician's effect will activate and you'll be able to draw a card. And from there you can enter Dragoon. You would you would just send them to the graveyard. You could send them to the graveyard. And with the dragon, because remember they got rid of it with the Super Poly. Your dragon is a dragon and a Dark Magician. So you can already enter the Anaconda and Super Poly. I'm sorry, Magicalized Fusion from it, and banish it and enter into it. So this hand, I just gave you like what, 6-7 different combos with the Dragoon on the field, your opponent, and it sounds like it's like you don't really do nothing. It's because that is the fact. It's a fact. This is I showed you live hands. I didn't trick you. You could rewind it. I put the card here. You could see if I change the deck or whatever. It's the same deck. And there you go. When you a lot of the problem of the Dark Magician players is they have the same hand I do, just the way they execute it is different. Loza explains it a lot too, like by going off of Sam's deck and a lot of people's deck. It's the same hand they have, but they execute it wrongly. So a lot of people just play the Red Eyes Fusion being greedy, and then they just hash it. Now what do you do? So if they would have ashed what I did, it wouldn't have worked, because they're ashing the Dark Magicians. You're still activating Magician's Restage to bring him and entering Anaconda and Dragoon. And you got rid of the Dragoon and another monster. So there you go. You saw the first hand, and you saw this hand. Typically, honestly, when I usually play, I do get the Circle and the Eternal Soul. As you can see, this time we didn't draw the Soul Servant or the Rod. And a lot of people believe that without those cards you don't win. Well, I just showed you a lot of combos and what you could do. And that's that. And this is supposed to be a $130 deck. and it's just walking all over a Dragoon. The floodgates are crazy. So there you go. I want to keep doing a bunch of test hands because it's pointless. You saw two. You saw the one going first. You saw the one going second. Test it yourself. If you want to buy the deck, I have it. I have what did I say? I'm looking at the table. I believe I have about four of these deck of this same deck left. If you want to build your own deck with a little bit more or less budget, you can. But like I said, if you're trying to compete in an official tournament, you're gonna want to do the English version on everything, and that changes the whole thing. Or why buy the English like the Magician Souls and the Soul Servant? Why buy them English if you're not entering the official tournament? Well, why? And you might say like because you want to have them. Yeah, but you're not entering the tournament. So by technicality, it just means because you want to, because you have the money. What about the people that don't have that kind of money? Well, I just told you, you could buy Asian cards. If they're too expensive, you can message me and see what I have left over, and we can work something out. Whatever the current price is, I can give them to you cheaper, and we'll go from there. And build yourself a Dark Magician. Don't wait till next year that the support's here and nothing is under. The deck itself won't be like under $300-400, and a good top tier is gonna be sitting at anywhere from like 1,200 to, you have people like Magic Calibra, they play ghost rares. You don't need to, but I mean their deck is obviously way past the 3,000 range. Or people that play like Magician's Force, Dark Magician Girl, LOB, like me, I have the LOB first edition English. That it's unnecessary. Why we want our Dark Magician to go past $10,000? You can build all sorts of formats. So that's it. I'm done. You also saw the new setup. I challenge you. I don't think anybody could build a better deck, more powerful, even a mirror deck to this deck. I'm being honest. I've tested it. It has results. I've been winning. The top tier version is quite some different from this, but it's able to walk all over the new Dark Magician support. And this is all outdated 2020 deck. Dark Magic Attack.